Hey everyone, welcome back. Well, in today's video, we are going to learn enabling continuous integration. So this is the next video in Azure DevOps series. We have covered few basic labs, and this is again the lab. This is a lab series, and we'll try to cover theory as much as it's possible while performing the lab. And of course, we'll try to create another playlist where we'll be discussing all those important topics needed. We'll see. Anyways, in this video, what we are going to do, we are going to uh, enable the continuous integration. That's what the name of this lab. I already have the repository with me with the help of Microsoft GitHub. Uh, and that repository we are going to use for building the artifact and enabling the continuous integration, right? So there is two things. This time we are not using YAML like pipeline as code. This time we are going to use classic editor so that we could see the steps that come up in our task when we choose the particular template. And then we'll trigger CI. We'll see various other options that we have when we trigger or enable CI. So let me share my screen. Let's get going. All right. So these are the steps I have written here. This is the lab enabling continuous integration as a DevOps. These are the steps that we are going to perform. So let me quickly take you through the lab. So this is our organization. It's name says Terraform because when I was doing the Terraform videos, you see there are like 20 videos on my channel. These are really helpful for the Terraform like a year ago. So I created this one. Anyways, need not to worry about that. We only need to worry about the project. So let me go ahead and open the DevOps CI project right here. So this project lies under this organization. That's why I was talking about the Terraform. Just forget it. Don't think about that. Our motive or our task is to create the CI, that is continuous integration. All right, so what do we need to do first? Well, first of all, let's go ahead quickly check what we got in the repos. In the repos, we should have, of course, we have the parts unlimited repo. This is the source code. And if I go to the pipeline, this is the old pipeline. We can pause this one. We don't want this to run. We can create the new pipeline for us. And this is not a release pipeline. This is the build pipeline. So we're going to use classic editor to see the steps rather going through the YAML. In the previous video, we learned YAML to build or deploy various stages, of course. But in this one, we'll do it through UI. Now here you can select where is your source code. There are multiple repos supported. For us, it's Azure repos, Git. This is where our source code is. We select the project, we select the repository, and of course, master is our branch. So let's continue. Now, these are the templates that you can choose. And ASP.NET, this is our application. So let me apply this and you will see all the relevant tasks will come automatically once we choose this template. We need not to go ahead and select that manually. So I hit the apply and you can see a lot of tasks are there already, right? NuGet restored and build the solution, then it will do some test and then it will publish the artifact. So what we need to do now, well, this is all we have inside the template, and for this lab, this is more than enough because we are doing the basic stuff to make ourselves familiar with these these things or these activities or processes in the Azure DevOps, right? So Azure DevOps will use NuGet to restore any dependent packages. And the project will be built and tested. Then the result will be published under publish artifact. If you remember, we did this task manually in the YAML file, okay, where we were selecting these tasks from the marketplace. Now, what we need to do, we need to see the various options that we have as it mentioned in the task, repo, classic editor, and the various options. So what we need to do, we simply need to click on variables. These are the other options. You see that? That can help us to, or we have to use these options as per the requirement. Under the variables, you can see these are the different variables. You can select it. You can create the variable groups as well. These variables help you when we have different environments and we want to use different variables for the different environment, right? And it can also help you. You can lock the variable so that people are not aware what is the actual value and they can use the variables. On the trigger, so as it says trigger, we have the CI trigger right here. We can enable the continuous integration. What that means whenever we commit, it will trigger the build. All these steps which were shown here will start running one by one. So this is what the continuous integration means here. And this happens when changes happen on the master branch. Right here, we can see that. We can have this scheduled as well, but that's not what we want. We want whenever we commit on the master branch, it will trigger the CI. Let's see what's there in the options. Well, there are so many things in the options. We have the build number format. Once the build created, it would have this format, but you can change it as per the name of your project and things like that, right? We have automatically link new work in this build. As you have seen the work items that we were involving here and there. We will involve in the next lab while using the gates. So work items which will be under the boats. We we have seen that already. Those are the work items that you can automatically link, which is enabled by default here. Now we have status badge, where you can create a badge. You can see whether the status of this pipeline is failed or passed in a one go. You not to go and figure it out what is happening. You can create that kind of status. All right, so what is there in the history? History is talking about past, as you know. Nothing is there in history because this is the very first attempt of CI, right? All right, so we need to save it, right, and queue it. Save and queue. You need to do your comment here. It's fine. This is the lab. We are not doing any comment, but this will definitely trigger the CI. And here is the agent job, which has started already. Now, depending on load, the build may need to wait in the queue for a moment, but what happens at the back end, because this is utilizing the Microsoft hosted agents. So Microsoft will create a quick VM and it will destroy once the job is done. So that's what is happening. And this is the only job, so it shouldn't take much time here. All right, so as we can see, the agent job is completed. If we click on here, we have all those steps that came with our template by default. You can see all the steps are done, test assemblies are done. So now what we can do, just to see whether the continuous integration is happening or not, let's go back to the repository and do some change on our source code somewhere so that we can conclude the lab. So if I go under here, let's click on here and let's click on edit. And version 2.0 commit. All right, so it should have started the pipeline. Yes, it has just now. So we can see it is running. Let me quickly take you to the previous run. Under the agent jobs, here was the test. It is the same test. We have seen that in the past as well. Now the pipeline is running. You can see. Let's wait and see if it gives us the build or our build is completed. We have done nothing, only entered one commit. Yeah. So let's wait. It should be all good. All right. It took a few minutes and you see it's green. So it triggered the build and we can see one published here under drop. This is our artifact, right? So this is the very small video where we have created or enabled the CI on the existing source code. Thank you for watching, and in next video we will deploy this code and complete the CI/CD. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.